born and raised in Malaysia, but now you're Australian and you live there full time. Tell us about your move. How did you end up in Australia?
My mum was an actress. Her screen name was Juliana Ibrahim. She played with Piramli. Actually, I watched that movie yesterday afternoon, Sesudah Subuh.
Wow.
And she was a very active lady. And to cut long story short, she met my stepfather, who's Australian, at an army base, I think in Singapore. And so she decided, without any consultation with any other member of the family, that she was going to move to Australia with her 2 children.
How old were you then?
I was 12 and my sister was 15. So it was an absolute shock, basically. It was absolute shock.
So were you kicking and screaming? I'm like, no, I don't want to leave.
Well, no, because for us it was exciting. We were going on a plane, but we didn't know it was permanent. Because she did not tell us that we thought we were going on holidays. So on a plane for a 12-year-old who's never been anywhere outside Goomba village, right? It was very, very exciting. But then it became...
when did it hit you that this is permanent? We're not going back to Malaysia.
I think that it was the cultural shock. When you get to Australia, everything was different. I didn't even know how to cross the road because you had to follow the man on the the stop, go.
Yeah.
None of that. I didn't know any of that. So I think the homesickness then took over. I think that's when I realised that it's not going to be a great. It was very difficult. Those years at school, it was very difficult. It was the 1970s, so there was a lot of racism going on in Australia as well, which hit us quite hard.
Now let's talk about you and your 3 amazing kids. Christos, Halimah, and also Nick. What was motherhood like for you in the early years?
It was hectic. It was definitely hectic. I think my plan was to get them very active. That was it. I wanted them to try everything outside of the house. Any sport I could put them into. In fact, all these kids are very good swimmers. So I got them to swimming. And I think Nick was a very good swimmer.
Yeah,
he was a very good swimmer. And it was very busy. I was full-time work.
You're in computer engineering.
Yeah. Full-time. And so was... George was working full-time. But I think we had George's parents who looked after the kids when I was at work.
So you had that family support system there in Australia.
During the... I guess there was a lot of things I wanted them to do because I didn't get the opportunity myself. Christos played piano, Nick played guitar, so there was music lessons, there was swimming lessons, there was tennis, there was soccer for Christos because George was determined he was going to have a famous soccer
soccer. Yeah, not great. I was one of those kids that was like above average at a lot of sports, but not exceptional at it.
All right, jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Oh, you experienced the badminton already, right?
Yes, I did. Okay, let's not get into that right now. Gee, it's a good.
But I mean, above average is just better than average already.
Yeah.
So that was the idea, was to just get them active. So I took them everywhere. We always had a management chart in the kitchen, so I knew where everybody was going at what time. So I try and get everybody there. It was very busy. We didn't have much. So I had to get loans to get the kids to the best schools.
Right, okay.
Now let's talk about the kids a little bit more. They're all equally talented in different things. And like you said, you put them in every single thing. How do you split your time between the 3 of them, though, as a working mom?
Well, Nick hates me saying it, but when he was... there's a big age difference between these 2. Christos and Harley are only 18 months apart, so they were very close. And then it was so busy that we thought, okay, we can't cope with another child. So, but when they went to school, and Christos, you were in year 3, I think and then we...
Whatever I was when I was 8 years old.
Yeah. So we decided that if we want another child, because I wanted 5.
Wow.
We better have one, or we would just, go our merry way. So... like a rabbit, just pop one out.
Okay. Wow. That's putting it lightly. Okay.
And and then so he was always relaxed in a way because he had his older brother and older sister who here, take him, you can just pass him on, and then you had the grandparents.
Right.
So he was an easier child. But when Harley was, because she's a stage performer, so she did everything, didn't she? She had ballet lessons, singing lessons, drama lessons, tap, you name it, she had it.
Which she still does.
She still does. So I used to just grab Nick and brought him to the studios where she was dancing, and then eventually I said, well, this is silly. He might as well do some of this himself.
Did he? Oh, please tell me there are videos. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's plenty of videos.
Oh my god, this would be great.
So I enrolled him into a jazz class, and it was so cute. But he wasn't what he wanted, because he wanted to play basketball.
Yeah.
So, but I was here, so he wanted to be somewhere else. So yeah, he did even a concert in his little costume. It's very cute.
This is very little known videos, right? You have to pass it on to me. I want those videos, my god.
It doesn't only take commitment in the athlete themselves. It takes a lot of commitment for the parents as well. So I'm sure when Nick was training at the time, you had to commit a lot of your time to bring him for trainings.
Look, the one thing I tell
competitions.
parents is don't just leave them, okay? Don't drive, leave them and go, because it doesn't work like that. I used to watch every single training session of these kids. I would bring my work. Lucky I was a software engineer, because I could work anywhere. So I would literally bring my work. I would sit there and watch. Nick might say, "Oh, did you see that? Oh, yeah."
But you were working on it.
But I mean,
but
sometimes you did see it.
Sometimes I did see it.
Yeah.
But you cannot just leave them, because you've got to gauge them to see how they feel. Are they happy?
Yeah.
Is there a relationship that's going wrong with the coach? Is he saying the wrong things?
Yeah.
And I used to sit at the swimming lessons, didn't I, at the swimming pool and watch these three race. But that's the commitment that you have to make, is the fact that you have to be watching them and monitoring how they're going.
Now back to Christos, right?
Yeah.
What are some of your best memories of mum?
I don't really have one memory, but I guess a thought is that she's always there. Like, whether it's a phone call away or whatever, it just always feels that she's very close. So I don't really have any. We've got
You
loads
guys
of
talk
memories.
every
We
day?
travel a lot. We've been to a lot of places around the world together.
Yeah, and we've got into trouble a lot.
Yeah.
Together?
What comes into mind is that France,
When?
in the taxi.
Oh, you don't want to know
Okay,
that story.
Mum.
It's not one for air, that one. I needed air at the time, but it's not for on air.
I love how Nill's going, that's a great story. The funny thing is, Christos going, that's
No,
not
no,
going
no.
to air, man. Are you kidding me?
No.
Let us be the judge
Come
of
on,
that.
I want to hear this story.
Bang.
I'll just keep it short. So
All right, go.
we're in France before Nick's Roland Garros tournament, and we've caught a taxi. And we've driven past this sort of area that, I don't know, just started to smell, right?
Right.
And the windows were open or whatever, and I'm looking outside, and the driver's... he winds the windows up, opens his glove box. He had like Glade or something, in there, air freshener, sprays it around the car, puts it back in the glove box and slams it so hard. I look back in the rearview mirror. She's losing it in the back seat, laughing her head off, whatever it is. So I've known that she's obviously content in the back. Content from the bontot. And he had the most sour look on his face, like he'd just eaten the worst durian in the world.
How about you, Mum? What are some of the best memories that you have with each one of your children?
I think with Christos is, when my proudest moment is when he asked me, can we go and have some coffee, because he decided he doesn't want to be a lawyer anymore.
Oh,
After
right.
5 years at uni and working in Parliament, and he still thought that I would be disappointed
Right.
because he didn't want to be a lawyer. And I thought that was such a such an, like a moment of just honesty.
Right.
And that he wanted my approval to say, or he didn't want to say, oh, I've just wasted all your money and, all your time because you wanted me to be a lawyer, but I don't really want to, so that, I think that was always stuck to my mind. The fact that you can still talk. Harley is just I don't know, I mean, she's just carefree. She's always honest. She talks to us. She WhatsApps us every day, just about, and she Skypes us every day. Talks about anything. Her boyfriend recently, we're like, yay, he's gone.
What? Really? Wow. What's the nicest thing they've done?
Of course, they always.
Yeah, I think wherever we are in the world, we always
post photos.
try and take you somewhere, buy presents wherever we are, and try to. It's tough though. Different parts around the world have different days for Mother's Day, so.
Right.
I don't know. But if there was one here on today, then I guess we'd do something for Mother's Day. But we don't limit it to one.
It's nice.